Okay, wow, dude, I shot a bunch and then I stopped because it just didn't feel right and I felt like low energy. And then I realized it's because I haven't eaten yet today and it's 6 p.m. I lost 14 pounds since I started this channel. Like, since I started taking the channel seriously for you. 14 pounds in a month. It's not good, right? Yeah. Anyway, this episode, Honey Bunny, is about, hey, hon, how are you? This episode is about acting. That's Buddy barking because he saw me eat and he's like, why not me? This episode is about acting and how to make a lot of money doing it. I say that in the same breath for a very specific reason that we'll go into later on. There's a lot I want to get off my chest that feels like uncomfortable even to say out loud. So if it's kind of weird or like it feels like dishonest, like it just feels dishonest kind of saying it, but it is all the truth. I don't know why it feels dishonest. But you can skip past that part and go straight to the meat and potatoes if you want, okay? And there's a full 1 hour class you can sit in on at the end, okay? Yeah, but this is called How to Act and Make a Ton of Money. So this is the part that you can skip, which is just about like my personal backstory, which I feel like I need to get off my chest. I just want to get off my chest because you're my baby girl and you should know about a little bit of this if you want to know about it. So when I was in university, I was getting ready to go to either law school or another sort of school. And at the last second, my mate's like, do you want to go to Los Angeles, try to be writers? And when we inevitably fail, we'll just come back and go to law school. I said, yeah, that sounds good. I have a rule throughout my life that if I do something, there has to be 3 reasons why I do it. So for me, the reason why I did this, like the main reason was it's a field that not only I knew nothing about, but that just like the rest of humanity, you kind of openly like despise or kind of think it's a joke or you're like, okay, buddy, sort of thing. And I, growing up in the Northeast, was very much like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're like a writer, you're an actor. Okay, buddy. And it's just kind of weird now harkening back to that mentality because I'm so far past that because of like the training and because of the, like accomplishments and all that stuff that it's like a little scary thinking about that old me because of just how much, growth there has been. So yeah. And then the other reason, so it was a brand new thing that I knew nothing about and kind of openly hated and like despised and, ridiculed. And then I have a stutter. You're sitting there like a fucking baboon. So I was like, that would be interesting to try to navigate a field that requires you to speak because I have another rule in my life that if there's something that I feel weak on or have an issue with, I should run towards it. You know what I mean? I am the monster. I'm turn around and I run towards it. Versus shying away from my weaknesses. I run straight head on towards whatever part of me feels weak. I ate something spicy, so now I have a runny nose. Yeah, so I have a rule that if I have a weakness that I run towards it. I feel like it's a rule that has yielded a lot of results because you get to fortify the weak area a lot faster than being afraid of it, right? And then the other reasoning was just to have a lot of fun. I'm with my best mate, I'm young, I'll never get that time back. And also I had interviewed everyone who was about a decade older than me at the time, who had gone to the fields that I was interested in, and they all seemed miserable. So I was like, let me take a little bit of a break and try this out. But I say all this because I did not come into this at all naturally. I had interviewed a lot of people while I was out there, and not a single one of them ever had my backstory or anything close to it. Like they weren't doing it like on a bet or on a dare or as a challenge of their mettle as a young man. And that's what I was doing. I wanted to see if I could do the hardest thing that I could think of. As I see people's eyes glaze over when they speak about anything creative in Hollywood, I'm like, why are their eyes glazing over? Because it seems like an impossible task. Whatever seems impossible, I want to figure out why it is that way. Furthermore, my friend, she goes, one of the greatest things you ever told me was when we first met, you go, never be impressed with anybody. I was like, I hope I made it sound better than that. But what she said is, she goes, no, you said these are all things done by humans. So no matter how large the thing is, like a new company, a new product, the transatlantic cable going to the moon, whatever like the crazy idea is, it's not a robot doing it or like a god coming down. It's a human that has to eat, use the bathroom, love, worry, stress, sleep. These are humans. Well, you're a human. I'm a human. So it was, it's interesting to me to see how far I can push my own humanity, like what I am capable of. I haven't got over the stutter part. What I am capable of. And especially at a young age where I was like, all right, I'm out of university. Let me go see what I am capable of, what my natural limitations are, and then I can use that as a tool because I, know thyself at that point for the rest of my life. And it worked somehow beyond my wildest dreams. My goal was to be a writer, and I somehow got on a show, and I'll go through my whole resume later. And I am in debt and a lot of gratitude to a lot of people that gave me a shot and really tried, and it was very hard to do it. And I remember almost every moment of it, and it was like the best story of my life, the best years of my life. And I still do it, but now like the passion of that hunger of like having nothing, and I was like, well, this is the thing. It's not quite there, but that's okay, because now I'm on to my next endeavors that are exciting, and my next challenge that I don't think I can do. I'm working on that now, so that's more interesting to me. But yeah, if you want to quickly go through my resume, I shot, done a bunch of theater, 25 or 6 commercials all around the world, China, Vietnam, US, Mexico, things like that. A whole bunch of TV shows from anywhere from the co-star to co-star recurring, guest star recurring to series regular, which was like the big one. That's like the one that where I was like, all right, mission accomplished. So, and we can go through all that. The way the curriculum is designed, is like there's a little bit about each subject, and then we're gonna circle back to like the first subject and go deeper on it. So there's so much you can learn here. This is just like a prerequisite course. But like with the other subjects, like how to fly or how to play piano or whatever, we'll go deeper and deeper into each subject. So this is just like a prerequisite course, yeah? And then why I mention like the money part is because this is sort of my advantage and also disadvantage, and I can explain both. I came from the Northeast, from a very competitive environment, from a very business-minded environment. Also being first generation, you're really not allowed to do things like this. It's just crazy, even if you're not first generation. And I was like, well, that's the challenge. I want to try something to see what I can show you. Like that was like my goal here, is to show you that anything is achievable. That's also like a very backwards way to go about it, because almost 99% of the people that I met out there who were trying to be writers or actors or whatever, they had been wanting to do it since they were a kid. And I was the opposite of that. I had no interest. I hated it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't really care. I had like every other interest. I didn't know that. And this is what feels like either like dishonest or like weird to say out loud, because it feels like disrespectful. And I was disrespectful. I was what they call a huge cunt for the first 3 years out there. And I can explain why in great detail. But now I regret that. I have seen that there are so many people that tried hard and they went to proper training, proper schools, and they were living, breathing this since they were young. And I never quite understood why. It seemed like a lot of it was, vengeance, or they wanted to get their name in lights to prove something to somebody. And, I was never that. I didn't care. That wasn't my justification. I was already like at peace with myself. So, but I think that has advantages too, because then you view it as a business. And I knew you view it as a business. And you can kind of separate your like emotion and like your need, and you're just like, I'm here to get a job done. And the disadvantage to that is that I don't think I am able to go far enough, just because I don't really care to go that far as these other people did. Now it's more interesting to me because I have proper training and respect for all the fields there. But I just didn't at the time for a lot of years. So it was a serious, like time waste where I was just like not respectful, just a big jerk, just a huge masshole. That's a Massachusetts asshole. I have an episode coming up called How to Swear, and I don't like swearing, but you use it when you want to for effect. So I was just the worst. I was like a bad student. I was disrespectful. I said no to opportunities, and like a lot of people are like, why are you the way that you are?
Why are you the way that you are?
Do you understand the opportunities that are being given to you while all these people have been working for so? And I was just a jerk. And I have nothing but like regret for that time. I don't think I could have been anything but that, because all of that behavior, that malbehavior, was just from insecurity. It was like a defense mechanism, right? It was just me. I was going to class for a while, and I would read these astrophysics books while I was there. And this one girl who was auditing the class from some other town, she and I would pass notes back and forth. She's like an amazing girl. We'd pass notes back and forth about my book, and I would like rip on the class. She would rip on the class because like she wasn't trying to be, any of these people. So she found it like insane too. But she was like a good like North Star for me, or like an even keel for me. But I like regret doing that. And then one day, thank goodness, I had a speech to myself where I go, you know what, Jake? You are coming here. You're spending your time, your money for hours, rehearsing, memorizing, all this stuff. So if you're here, show up. Otherwise, don't be here. Go do something else. And, thank goodness I had that conversation with myself, because that's when I was like, oh yeah, if I'm going to be here physically, spending time and money that I'll never get back, then show up. Otherwise, don't be here. And this is a big, metaphor for like everything you do in life. I used to have a line about like, if you're going to the party, be happy to be there because like you got ready to go to the party. But like to sit in the corner like that, it's like, dude, you put the hair and makeup on, you drove here, like you got everything ready, and now you're just like this, like show up. But there's an argument against that too regarding just how you feel that day, or whatever. But if you're doing the thing, honey, show up for it. Otherwise, don't do it, and just save your energy because maybe you can use that towards something else. Maybe you need some time to rest. But thank goodness I had that speech to myself. But that was years in, and I wish I had done that 3 or 4 years earlier. But once again, I don't think I had the mental capacity to. Yeah, so why I say like the money part is because like it had to be like worth it for me because there were other darlings that I was killing in favor of this. Law school, med school, or my personal selfish interest, astrophysics. And I'll say no to these things to go try this thing just to see what I was made of for the challenge. And so it's like not a good way to go about it, but it got the job done. But it has its advantages and its severe disadvantages, and you take from it what you will. But there was a freedom there that I had that sort of mentality because I understood the business. And there was a limit too, in a way, because I just wasn't one of these people that just, want to do it from birth. But I respect them. The other thing I want to say to you is like to remember that it's a business, okay? It's a business. And I don't know why this is like an issue with like the Venn diagram here where your creatives don't really understand business and business people have zero creativity. They're like the easiest people to sell to. Status game people, just like the worst. They have no idea. They're the ones you could easily sell like a Lambo to, and they think that revving the engine will go get the girl and stuff like that, and they wait by their Lambo and like no one cares. Versus the guy with like the picnic basket and like a Vespa, and he got everything the other guy wanted for $5,000 because he has art and he has charm and he has personality and charisma, and like you can do so much with so little because it's like a pure thing versus like you not knowing how to. These two rarely seem to overlap, and that's the goal here. At least that's how I raise myself. Is where art meets commerce. This is what one of my earliest bosses said. Find me on the intersection of art and commerce. And I've always loved that. It's like the Venn diagram overlap. This is a business. You are selling a product. To ask a company to go shell out $1 million, $20 million, $200 million to make a movie. Like I know that the artist is passionate about the movie, but as a business, that company's giving you their money. They need to recoup that and then 10x it. It's an asset. So if they're making a thing, okay, every part on that is an asset, which include the writing, the writers, the actor, the director, what's on set, all these things. It's an asset to help lead to an ROI. That should be remembered, that it's a business. You're in show business. It should be entertaining, and you need to make money off it. I don't know why artists, they don't like to, discuss this part, or they don't know, they're not very good at, negotiating for themselves. But I knew this part, and it was also limiting because I was just a huge jerk when I knew I was being, undersold and stuff like that. So I don't know. You decide whatever you want there. It was both limiting and freeing. It both led to my success and also probably held me back a lot. Yeah. So just understand that it is a business. I was in one of the strategy rooms for Showtime, and I watched them doing their strategy. So you could see them, planning out the next couple months, years on what'll sell. And when we do like a whole episode on business and finance, we'll talk about how to get more money for like a cheaper product. That's their goal here, That's why now, if you look at any of the networks on primetime, it's your Steve Harvey, just like a cheap product versus what used to be, actual story. Because it's just a business, honey. It's a business, and I think once you understand that, like I hope that doesn't take away from the magic of movie making, because you should be able to have a brain large enough that can handle both sides. That there's like an artistic component, a heavy artistic component, and there's a business component. We want you to be working and be successful and to have like a next project and a next project. So these things, and artists love to rail on the executives or the studio, blah, 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 but they're just like you. They graduated from like Rutgers, and they're on a call like hoping this is the right choice, and everyone's there in like a groupthink mentality, and they may be laid off, they may get fired, whatever. They're not trying to be a jerk. They're just hoping that this is like a product that yields results in terms of money. Okay, so
now in the TV network world of those days, when the network executives say, we have an idea to make your show better, it is always, without fail, without exception, the worst idea you have ever heard, which is not their fault. It's not their job to have funny ideas. This person is a network note. That's what you're looking at.
Think of like the business side of all this. What it costs to go film something, why you want to win awards and go advertise that, what it means to have a certain actor or actress on set, what a good script does, streaming, all these things. Like why we're doing it's because it's a business. There's another thing I want to say. Oh, you tie that money up from the studio. So if they made The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo for 100 mil, and that took a year. Okay, that's 100 mil frozen for a year that the company now can't use on something else. And then it made 100 million altogether. Okay, so we broke even, had those assets frozen for a year, and we got no ROI on it. You as an investor would be concerned about those numbers. That's all. It's just a business. And I think that does, behoove the actual acting component of it. And if you don't agree with me, that's okay, but I'm just letting you know that this is me. This is how I raise myself. This is what I respond to, and it's helped me. I was in a class once where this guy came in. He's like 56, graying older man, and he came in and he gave a speech to all these kids. They're all, like youngish. And he's like, you know what? Sure, I may be 56. Sure, I may be in a studio in North Hollywood. Sure, I may be doing lines to the mirror, but I love it because it's my craft. And I like noisily got up as loud as I could and got the hell out of there. I was like, nope, this is the worst message ever. I don't respond to that. My mission was not to learn the craft to go do it in a studio in NoHo. It's not. Sorry, it's not. If you get insulted, I don't care. It's not. That's not my thing. You can do that, but it's not my thing. My goal is a lot of money and success from this. So this is it helps me think clearly, okay? When I heard that, I noisily go, and then I looked around, there's 100 students yeah, is that great? I was like, you guys should buy earplugs. Walk out of here. This is the worst advice ever. Sorry. So we're going to try to, some parts of me might seem, like a jerk, but that's just the business side. And then some parts of me will just melt into the art. That's the art side. Our goal is to have a well-rounded view of both here, okay? When you do something like this, and you can apply this to anything in life, okay? Remember that I did this for the lessons on doing the hardest thing so that life afterwards would seem easier. And I don't know why most people I meet don't have this. Maybe I'm just not meeting the right people. But there's a level of competition, honey. And I think it's sometimes weird, certain people out that know me, because I'm a gregarious, affable, happy-go-lucky guy. Except when I choose to compete. And I am a gregarious and easygoing because I am at rest at most times. Because when I do compete, honey, this might be a little weird or scary, but I am out to go slit my competitors' throats. Because I have chose that field to go compete in. They're daring to challenge me. I will win. I will slit their throats and hold their skull. It is merciless, honey, okay? Merciless when it comes to the things that I choose to compete in. That's why I don't choose to compete in a lot of things, because most people are working on something that's not worth it, or they're just anemic, themselves. So I'm not in competition for them. I'm in competition with the big dogs on the things that I think are worth it. And I don't think people, maybe this is the wrong way to go about it, or more people don't understand, or they disagree, whatever. But this is what works for me. This is how I am. Recently, my Lao chief heard that I fire my friends. And she's like, what? I was like, I fire my friends. She goes, wow, that's really harsh. I go, yeah. She goes, yeah, but you seem like a nice, happy guy. I go, yeah, I am, you're happy and nice. But if I'm not growing with my friends and they're still down there while I'm up here, then I got to move on to the next circle. I want to earn my way to the next group. They'll always be my friend, but now they're relegated to a thing because they didn't grow with me. And also I haven't earned my way to the next thing. I'm earning my way up there. So it's she found it to be harsh. My other friend who's in flight school now, and I was going to have him say this on camera for his episode, he goes, I can't talk to my old friends anymore because they just don't get what I'm saying. And I was like, dude, I know exactly what you mean. And you will be alone for a little bit, but you will earn your way to this new echelon, this new circle, this new tier that you don't even know is waiting for you. And then they'll be like, hey, welcome, you're ready to be here. And so, yeah, when it comes to this, which is the hardest field, which is the hardest thing you can do in the world, not because the work is hard, but because there's no farm system. I can explain that now. This is a thing that I kept trying to, communicate to people. I was like, the problem with Hollywood isn't the acting or the writing or anything like that. The problem is that there's no farm system here. And a lot of the non-working creatives don't know sports, but farm system in baseball is just a system such that you're raised from the little league to the high school to the collegiate to the minor league to the major league. And it's a meritocracy. If you keep hitting home runs, no one can like deny you. They can't be like, I don't know about, how'd you feel about that home run? They'll be like, no, like the ball went out of the park. So there's another home run. So let's keep elevating him to the next thing. Like it's not like a subjective thing. And so like, it doesn't matter if you're, 1 foot taller, 9 feet taller, fat or skinny or what. They don't care. If you keep swinging this bat and that ball keeps going over the line where it's not in the field, that's a home run. If you keep doing that and you never not do that, we have to keep moving you up. That's called a farm system. So you could be like a absolute nobody from, Nome, Alaska, and they will find that talent. But that is the opposite of what Hollywood is. That's horrible for me because my mind is very logical in business, and I was hoping it was like a meritocracy. And then I watched these. I was like, oh, what is like the frustration here? The frustration is that like the talent doesn't rise to the top always, and like the audition process is flawed and all that stuff, and it's just like a subjective thing. That's why you're not getting the best actors, the best shows, the best movie. There's so much potential upside not being realized because there isn't even remotely a farm system. I know they have your casting directors and agents, all this stuff. It is not even close to getting what should be working. It's maybe 3% of the way there. So that's the problem that I knew after like a couple of years. I was like, what is my frustration here? There isn't like a farm system. I've had, racist things said against me, just like so many like just awful things. And I sat in on the casting session for a Hulu program. And if you want to, we'll talk about this regarding strategy. Like if you want to win as efficiently as you can, I call it play the enemy, which means you act like you're on the other side and watch it happen. So like the fastest way to be an actor is to hold an audition, and then you'll see how these actors come in, and you'll learn, and you'll know what not to do and what to do, and then you should also be on set and stuff like that. But I got to watch a whole Hulu casting process, and it was I think I was ready to be like, this is over. This system is nowhere near getting the right people to be working right now. From the writers to the directors to the actors, everybody. I was like, oh, like this is such the process, the algorithm is not yielding the right people. And I just saw so many people here know. I was like, oh no, these guys were like the best by far, easily. But there was, other things that they had this person come in who was just not ready. She's like a 5 out of 10. Well, this person was like a 20 out of 10 ready. I don't know. And now they started doing stupid things like all these, social media people. And I'm like, oh, I think the last commercial I shot, 4 out of 6 people were from some social media app. And I'm like, okay, cool. I think I'm good. When 2/3 of the people here and like they had nothing ready, they could not do anything. They didn't know. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. If it's a changing, like a economy, at a certain point, you have to decide whether you want to stay on or not. We'll talk about all that when it comes to stocks, how to evaluate things correctly. April, how to evaluate things correctly. We'll talk about all that when it comes to stocks. I think April's upset. April. We'll talk about all that when it comes to stocks, how to properly evaluate something. So like I knew when the time was right to go there, and I knew when the time was right to not be there, and I nailed it. Everyone calls me up after, is like, how'd you know? I was like, well, because there's a way evaluate a market. Anyway, we'll go into all that later. I don't know why people don't want to compete, or it's like let's take the art out of it and let's talk business once again. In all these acting classes, almost 100% of them will not make it. Or when, who ran Inside the Actor Studio? When that guy said, my dream will have been when one of my students comes back, and it was just Bradley Cooper. It's like, where's everybody else? So there's something going wrong with the schools regarding the business side of it. Like, they're not teaching the business side of it. And I don't know why they don't teach the business side of it. It's a business. Like, have the readiness, as Jenna Fisher said, and then that has to meet opportunity. When those two overlap, that's when you get success. But for some reason, people don't like speaking about it. Anyway, when it comes to the training, honey, you have to fucking compete. You have to beat everyone. It is the hardest thing to do in the world. You can never not be ready. You need to, there's no farm system, no mentorship. And to have these people, I don't know who needs to hear, but it is everyone out there. You can't just be waiting for class or waiting to get on set or no. You have to be overly training, waking up at 5 a.m., running lines, finding scenes, grabbing scene partners, working with them, constantly, repetition, finding nuances, doing character work, getting frustrated, hearing, just keep doing it and grinding it out. And that's what I did, just ground it out. There was no one that could outwork me. And I think that's what helped. But for some reason, there's this chasm where people think this is a thing where you just an overnight success. So, that's the other thing here is I'm trying to also bridge the chasm between what everyone thinks Hollywood is outside of it and what it actually is, which is just, it's actually you're smallening everything to a scene or to a moment that you write or that you read or that you direct or that you act in. And there's a lot of training that goes on behind that. by everyone on set. And we're going to talk about all the other different roles on set, which you should have massive respect for. Yeah, so like I just outworked everyone. And at the last levels, you'll see how good the competition is. And I have stories for you. Yeah, like at like the network level, when there's 40 people watching from across 3 different cities on a webcam, everyone's live, whatever. It's like everyone who's left are the fucking best at what they do. Okay, they can do this in their sleep. So should you be. So, outcompete yourself, every day in life. Outcompete yourself. Like, I'm not competing with anyone else except for myself. I go like, what stone is left unturned? If I was on the other side, how could I be better? And like, we speak about this in a later episode about auditions, which shouldn't be called auditions. And also the process is extremely flawed, which I thought would be fixed after COVID, but they went right back to it. The shit process. Everybody knows it's a bad process. Yeah, the audition process, as I've trained a lot of people, I said the only thing you can do wrong is you have to answer one question. If you could go back in and go do that again, would you? If the answer is yes, that was a bad audition. That was a bad meeting. If the answer is no, that means that everything that you could have done, you've maximized and you're good. That was a win. And so string 20 of those in a row. That's when you know that you're now like a rhythm. But if you even have one, you're not ready. Just keep out competing yourself. Make it harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. Make life hard for yourself. I don't know why people don't do this. Yeah. I don't know. Especially in that industry, this can be applied to all fields, okay? Okay, medicine, business, all these things. But just like out compete yourself. Yeah, I don't get it. Even you see like movies like, Whiplash and stuff, and, they get it. That's how I raised myself. You are in a competition with yourself, and you praise yourself. And even once you get the job done, it's not good enough. I just keep fighting. Like I'm not there for the praise or anything. I'm there to win because I chose to enter this as a competition. Anyway.
There are no 2 words in the English language more harmful than good job.
I mean, it leads to a sad and very lonely life, but it's the life that I chose and the life that I like because it is vested in truth and not fabrication, and it's honest and it's earnest and it's good and I feel good and I like the stress of it, and it's like my favorite thing. I love to compete. When I choose something to fight in, I like to fight. And, the look on the other people that think this is, that's the look of, the cold and timid souls that Teddy Roosevelt mentioned in his now trite Man in the Arena speech. That's that look. But if you choose to join this, you fucking fight, okay? It's worth it. It's a good life. And also because you'll see everyone else in each other department, they've been fighting for their respective thing. And now they're at the top of their game. And so you're meeting people from craft services to the camera, to Mike, to the production offices, to the director, to the lights, to the grip, to transpo, everybody. These people are at the top of their game. They've been doing this for a while. And just as seriously as you took writing or you took acting, they're taking their field and they're the best at it. And now you guys have earned your way onto this set to be working together. And it's a great thing. Now, I think that this is one of the most beautiful things you could do with your life because, when it's done right, it is the most amazing thing ever. Think about a movie that has changed your life. And if you study how it got made, oh my goodness. I was just studying how they got the Mirage shot from Lawrence of Arabia. And just that shot alone I can go on about for hours. And it's amazing because you have like the right, even the production designer said there wasn't enough emotion in the scenery. So he added camel tracks. Like, I love that decision. Like, that's what he does. He's like the best at that, and he will see that. That's his job. And you get to work with him. And I just think that's amazing. So that I can watch a movie 65 years later where everyone in it is dead. That's the first thing I thought when I saw it. I go, oh my God, everyone in here is dead. Including the director, everyone's dead. I'm watching a relic. And it's just, I think it's the most beautiful thing you can do with your life when it's done right. But we'll go into more detail about all that in a bit.
Petru,
Yeah, I have a whole thing here, so I'm looking at that. I had no mentor in this, honey. I had like the opposite of mentor. I just had like nothing going for me, and it wasn't like an industry that you favored anyone that looks like me or anything like that. And I was on Craigslist, like looking up how to do this. I was on Google, which is probably a bad thing to do in LA. How to act on camera from Craigslist. How to write. How to get on a set from Craigslist. Yeah, no mentor. I used to go to the Barnes and Noble to go look at books, and then I went to small classes here and there, and like kept driving for hours, and just all this stuff, which we'll go into in another episode. But it was a very backwards way to go about it. But everyone has their own story. I just never later on found a story like mine. So maybe don't do that, or steal what you think works from it. And with that being said, I feel bad now. I feel really bad for the 3 or 4 years where there were people that believed in me, gave me a shot over and over and over again, saw something in me, and I just kept not only being neutral about it, I rejected it. I said, no, I'm never doing that. This is stupid. I was just a jerk, honey. I feel bad for those people. And they're still around, by the way. They still like me and they forgive me. But I just feel bad for them and all the love that they gave and the support they gave. I was just not ready. It was just a simple Psych 101 defense mechanism. And, that's okay for that time because I didn't have the training. It's only when I saw my first residual check, which I was dragging around in my backpack because I didn't know that was a check. For 3 months, I had it in my backpack, never opened it. Then one day I'm at my ex-girlfriend's place and I opened up my bag, opened it, and it's a check for like $400 or like $800, something like that. I was like, what the hell? I've been carrying this around for 3 months. It's like a check. For what? It was like for work I had done that I wasn't even good at. And I was like, oh, I think I can see like somewhat of like a farm system here, or like a way that this can work. But up until then, like I just didn't get it until I saw that check. Then I started taking it a lot more seriously. And my first thing that I ever shot required like 84 takes, and it was a horror story. One of my favorite stories to share, which I will on another episode. One of my favorite dinner stories. Everyone dies laughing at this, and they ask me to repeat it again and again. It is my first day on set that I've ever did. There were drugs involved. A soiled. I used the bathroom the wrong way. It was 84 takes. Sweating. It's a horror story, which I will tell you on some other. I have so many good stories for you from Hollywood, that I can't wait to tell you over this or in real life. And ever since then, I was like, and then I got a call from like the network going, how you say that you're a writer and you're not an actor? I go, yeah. They go, we believe you now. We're going to get you in a class. I was like, that's what I've been asking for all this time. So then I got in a class, and that class changed my life. Bob Carnegie, a very conservative teacher, which you wouldn't expect there, right? Changed my life forever. That was the one where I was a huge jerkin, where I met the girl. I didn't take it seriously. Then one day I did, and I became one of the best in the class. And after I got on a show and everything, he brought me back and had me do a speech, so all this stuff. I get what Bradley Cooper said when he mentioned to his acting teacher, like the things we did in that room.
That I was never able to relax in my life before her. Family feeling. I mean, it was a very private, a sacred place that we had at that room. Sacred place. And so special. And being away from it, and being in the world now, and being lucky enough to work as an actor, having wonderful experience. No question about it. The most sacred experience I've ever had was in that room. No question about it. So thank you.
And then he got emotional. Like the things me and Bob Carnegie did in that room, I am forever in debt. It's a very special time in my life. I changed a lot forever. And, to that little theater, and seeing at 7 a.m. in like a cold LA morning, while everyone's going to like a safe job, soulless job, and like we were all working on like a dream in like the cold LA morning, 7 a.m. and someone's doing like a scene from like Tennessee Williams, and everyone is it's like the greatest thing I've ever seen on stage. I'm like, it's 7 a.m. on Lancashire, and I'm watching this kid. He's like the greatest actor that I've ever seen. He's maybe 23, 24. I was like, you don't even see this on your TV or Oscar movies or anything now. And I'm like, what would be like this is the best thing ever. We're so alive right now. And most people on their deathbed will not even feel 1% of that or experience that or be that alive. And I owe it all to Bob Carnegie. He changed my life forever. I'll always have those lessons and that work ethic. That's what he taught me most. It wasn't about the acting. It's not, as you notice with most of my lessons, it's not about how to fly the plane or how to get on a TV show or how a car engine works or you know, what your hormones do or how a movie works or anything. It's about what you can extract from that. And what I learned from this was a work ethic. If I could share, you know, one thing to you, as people came late to the class, he would give out the same speech. He goes like, you're in the hardest industry in the world and you don't even take yourselves seriously. If the class starts at 9 and you show up at 9:03, 9:15, so somehow you got here within, you know, 3 to 15 minutes, but you weren't able to get here at 8:45. You're not even taking yourself seriously. And you expect in like the weirdest industry for everyone else to, and to go put a lot of money behind you. You guys are not ready. And he kept giving speeches like this, and I was like, oh, I respond to this. Maybe because it's not like a, you know, hippie kind of liberal thing. It's like a conservative, hard approach to a subjective artistic endeavor, which I love to see. That's like the business and the art. And he would say that there are working actors who just keep going to other actors' houses hoping that they have a chance to rehearse at 11 p.m., 5 a.m., whatever. They just eat, sleep, breathing this stuff, journaling, reading. By the way, that's another note to you as an actor. Like, it's not just about the acting. You need to be a library. That's why this library is for you. You need to be a library of experience and reading and good movies and good conversations and getting to know people, information, facts, history, mathematics, science. You need to be a library. That creates a well-rounded, deep, worldly, knowledgeable, wise, understanding people. That's a deep well to draw from. Versus these, you know, one-dimensional, you know, like adults now on fucking, you know, TikTok. Losers. These are absolute losers, okay, with nothing. These are nothing people, okay? But you should be the opposite of that. Okay, be a worldly, deep, well-read, profound, magnanimous, large, charismatic, emotionally empathetic, large person. That's a big life you're going to live there. You will have experienced more by 24 than most people will experience in one pinky on their deathbed. Okay? And that's by choice, because you're choosing to understand about everything. Don't judge, just learn about everyone and everything. Learn. Journal it down, write it down. Think about it later, you know, meditate on it. That will be the existence of you. Okay? Anyway, I owe everything to Bob Carnegie and a lot of other people. But that he changed my life. He made me a different person. I, after years of being a huge jerk, broke myself down into ash and rebuilt up. I was like, now I understand this industry. I understand this craft. I understand this job. I get it. I have massive respect for it. And I hate who I was before. Once again, I'll say it, but that's who I was before. Yeah, it's holy work. Residual check. Yeah, no, there was this Indian doctor who I fucking hated. This Indian doctor, he said, like, who can go to class at 7 a.m.? And I was like, dude, you're openly scamming not just the medical industry, but also my country. He would like openly scam like the medical industry, but just, you know, making surgeries, all the stuff that were not necessary. And then he was like, he had an argument with me where he said, because I said how much like I love America and have appreciation for it. And he just kept saying, you'll never be American. You'll never be white. And I was like, dude, why don't you get out of here then? So like you're in my country using, you know, everything we have here, you know, making fun of everyone, squeezing the system dry, and like you don't even want to be a part of it. It's like, I don't know. But I'm glad that I stood up to him. I was like, your story is so wrong. Like, here's the great tragedy there is that he'll never know how tragic his story is. He'll die never knowing how little he has been alive or successful, because according to his story, he's now successful. He's scamming people and he's making somewhat money through surgeries that don't need to happen. And he goes back to India or he sends money. I don't know. It's just like a bad person. But I like remember him when he asked about these, you know, 7 a.m., you know, classes. And I was like, some people are just, I don't know, good or holistic or whatever he was. I was just the antithesis of. I don't know why I said that. I just had him in mind when he said that. And, you know, that's back when I had nothing, no training, no money, no experience. And I was just like, you know, working, you know, like hoping this will work. And it ended up working, thank God. Thank goodness. But I you know, think of him sometimes. Yeah, before I go to the actual acting section, I just want to say once again to all my mentors and anyone that gave me a shot, I like deeply thank you. I remember all the conversations we had. There was a big thing that happened once where one of my mentors at CBS, and she's hard to get her like attention. And I had been saying this to a lot of people, and like, you know, everyone in LA is, you know, kind of a fake and they don't quite listen. And I like said the same thing to her. And she stopped and she was in shock and she went into my trailer and she sat down with me, you know, like a mother. And I remember thinking, like, what a good person. She heard me. She helped, raise me. She made me who I was. She gave me all my opportunities, and I owe her everything. I owe her so much. You know who you are. I owe her everything. She's like one of like 5 people I can name on my hand that were like the biggest people that gave me a shot over and over and over again. And it was that motherly moment that, she was already at 100% for me, and somehow she went over the top of that. I can't say what it is. I'll let you know in real life. But that moment when I opened up about something to her, and I saw just the mother come out of her, and all of the Hollywood, Los Angeles shit go away. It just became like a tether between a mother and a son. And she took me into my trailer, and we sat down on the couch, and so thank you to all my mentors out there who gave me a shot ever. You know who you are. If you don't, I'll tell you in real life. If you see this, I owe you so much. Even from the smallest stuff, when I just started as like a PA or like an extra, there were just little moments where certain people saw something and were like, here, go do this, you should try this. They gave me advice, and it was all just, I owe them literally everything. So thank you guys very much. You guys made me like a different person and a better person, and so much more strong and confident and happy. And I kicked my bucket list at a young age because of you guys. Now I'm just bored, I kicked my bucket list at a very young age, and there's a lot on it, but I just kept focusing on the bucket list. At a young age, I did all of it, and I was like, oh, we probably have another 60 years left. Anyway. Okay, now let's just explicitly speak about acting, okay? I think I got most of what I wanted to get off my chest. Sorry if that was a mess. Let's talk about acting, okay? How to act. And right off the bat, I'm going to say, a lot of people think this is like a thing you could learn overnight or in a weekend. No. Like anything worth it in life, because the prize is so large, it should be a thing that you spend day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, working on getting better and better and better and better and better, because other people are, and they will beat you. So you want to train. So that's one thing. And also, it'll happen a lot sooner than you think too. Like it's not like you have to spend 20 years doing this. It could happen within like a year or two, where like if you really work hard, it's be this way. So like one of the first chasms that I want to kind of bridge here is like what people think Hollywood is versus what the actual work is. I think most people, 99% of the people who don't know anything about it, they're thinking that it's about fame. And it's not. None of the people that I've ever met that are like working, successful writers or actors have ever cared about fame or ever wanted it, and most of them shun away from it. They have to do it sometimes as like the business side of like the product, but they are just there because they're contractually obligated to. But it's not the fame. And I think most people from the outside are looking for the fame part of it. And I don't know why people don't think this way, but like just like I used to say with business school kids, the easiest way how I know someone's not going to make $1 billion is if they go, I want to be a billionaire. I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about yet. Because I've never seen anyone aim to make $1 billion. The recipe for $1 billion is that you have a product that's necessary in a market. It fills a hole. It's scalable. And either the product, if it's cheap or expensive, will then dictate how much money comes out the other end. So the byproduct of you filling that equation is $1 billion. But it's not like you're going, I need $1 billion. That person I know, like 100%, is never going to achieve that, ever. I want to be a billionaire. Now you're going into it in the mindset because like you had, your daddy issues, or like you picked on in school. So you think if you make $1 billion, that's going to like justify what happened to you in the past. It's just not going to work, okay? But if you have a product, I made software, or I made like a computer chip, or I make your Coca-Cola, and it fills a hole in the market. You know what? People want sugar. They want this taste. They want software. They want a computer chip. And the more expensive it is, Coca-Cola versus a computer chip, and it can be scaled. You know what? We can make like 1 million of these. Okay. We can make 100 million. Okay. Now we can scale. Well, then the byproduct is your stock is valued at a lot. You have a lot of stock. Now you're a billionaire. But if you're telling the person to go aim to be a billionaire, they're never going to get that. Sorry, I keep saying that because we'll talk more in depth on that in the business episodes and economics episodes. But if somebody's going to Hollywood for fame, it's not going to happen. I mean, you can sell like a cheap thing, like reality or whatever, but that's not like a deep dopamine release. It's just not. Like in my opinion, I don't watch it. I don't know what that is. Okay, but it's because you like to write. You enjoy this idea that on a blank page you can literally create a world. Not literally, but create a world.
I want you to meet my friend Carlo.
Hi, Carlo.
This is Mia.
Nice. Mia?
Yes, Mia.
Hi. How are you?
Carlo is a writer.
Yeah, so I have a knack for world building. I got a lot of heat right now. There's a lot of buzz, people talking about me, which is exciting. And you work so hard and then all that validation.
I'm gonna grab a drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
From a blank page. And that could be anything from, Nosferatu to Citizen Kane to La La Land, all right, to 2001: A Space. And it just starts with like a blank page, like you're like a god there. Or the act of acting, which, I don't even understand. One lesson at the end of all this is like, why are you going into acting? That's another, psychological thing that I've always posited to all these actors that want to be actors since they're a kid. I'm like, why are you doing this? Because what you realize later on, just like the money, you realize that that's not what you wanted. Out of the 3 above the line fields, it's like the least creative. You have the least space to do anything. You're like, as Jeremy Strong puts it, like you're like a vessel.
Is that your job is an actor, okay? What is that job in your opinion? Is that too broad of a question? Do you want me to narrow that down?
No, it's a great question. I mean, I guess if I had one word, it would maybe be a vessel. You're a vessel for storytelling. But it's really a mystery to me what it is and how it works. And I think kind of protecting that mystery is important too.
Okay, but like the holiest role is writer and then director and then actor, but like you can't be something outside of, like, you're limited in a lot, by the script and by your, so that's another question to ask. But the act of acting is like to dissect a scene, the characters, to work on who the character is, to try to embody it, and then to work off the other person in your environment. If that's fun for you, then you're going to be doing it all the time. And if you do it all the time, you'll probably be very good at it. And then you get on a lot of stuff, you'll be seen. And then a byproduct of that is money and fame. But that's not why the best people are going into it. Like, they're trying to be I've never met an actor that's like, I want to be famous. I know they're never going to make it. The ones that are going to make it are just like, I'm obsessed with breaking down a scene. Like, I don't care where it is. So that's a critical part here to mention, because what I want to say is, and it's easier said than done, but when you think of a movie, or you think of Hollywood, outside of Hollywood, all these huge things, it seems so grand and like a big product. Oh my God. And it is. But let's, just like we did with the piano, let's small in our world. This movie, get rid of the fame. No one cares. Look at the movie. It's just a series of scenes. Look at that scene. Who's in it? What's in it? How many characters? Why are they there? What came after this? What's coming after this? How old are they? What race are they? What are they from? Economically, what are their relationships? What year is it? What's the mood like around you? So we're smalling things. And then we realize that it's just this moment. And for you to like embody, say, one of the people there, it's going to take a long time, okay? But it is, worth it, in my opinion. There are steps you need to take for that. So, I didn't understand this in the beginning, why the schools were so like austere. It's just like black with basic furniture. I was like, how come? And now I get it. I'm like, oh, because like the magic that happens between two people, let's say, you could fill in all the rest later, like the scene, the setting, and lights, camera, action. But there's an earnestness to that interaction, and that's all we need to work on here. So we'll literally go through in other episodes how to break down a scene, how to break down a character, how to even the technical stuff, how to memorize. There's a way to memorize, emotional preparation, what to do beforehand, after all this stuff. So I'm excited to go all through all that with you. And there's a way to make it more streamlined and more efficient, so that you're just like a machine when it comes to this, and it's not like a matter of you not having the tools. Like there's there's a mode of operation you do when it comes time to act, clear steps. And only why it seems magical to other people is because they don't have those steps, but you'll have your own steps. Yeah, we'll talk about how to behave on set, how to act, how to listen. Acting is mostly listening, which is if I could sum it up in one thing, it's just listen and respond. And that seems simple, right? But suddenly there becomes like a chasm between your ability to do that in real life versus when there's a big production going on. And so people will spend a lot of money and a lot of time to learn to bridge that gap, even though that's all it is, largely. And I always do like a little bit of like a test with this whenever I start a class. I'll ask a student, I was like, hey, could you, all right, before we begin, could you, hit the lights? I don't want both these on. And then they'll get up, yeah, sure. Then they'll get up and they'll go do it and they come back. I go, they'll say, is that good? Or I'll say, thanks, whatever. And then I'll say, okay, cut, stop. Now, imagine if that was the scene. That was the scene where I go, hey, do you mind turning off the lights? You have to get up and go do it. Maybe you had your leg under your butt and then you fell asleep. And then you were nervous why I was asking for one light off, but you want to ask, but you don't want to. And then you come back and then you were seeking approval, but I didn't say anything. Or maybe I just, you did it so naturally now. And like, imagine if that was the scene and like I happened to shoot it. But if I said, here's the scene, where then a guy asks you to off the light, you get up and you remove your leg and you say, now suddenly people would forget to walk and they would stumble and they would be like, I don't know what to do. And you know, how was my voice? And like, I just had you do it beforehand without letting you know that was a scene. And I told you afterwards, you know, what if that was the actual scene? And you clammed up. That difference is what you're trying to work on in class. Just making it as natural. And even like the small things, yeah, like, you know, like how you know, like respond to somebody. But if it's on the script that she says, yeah, sure, you'll be like, yes, sure. And that's not natural, right? But when I asked you, you want to turn off the light? When, yeah. Yep. See, that was just a natural thing. So yeah, we'll go through all that. Oh, I also want to say a huge caveat. I am not qualified to teach acting. That's how much I respect it. I am not qualified to teach acting. That being said, I've taught a lot of people, and almost all of them have gone on to either get callbacks, avail to go book the damn thing and make a ton of money, be on shows, get famous. Because I just like to teach. I'm good at it. And it's what worked for me. And I was looking for this my whole life, and I didn't really find it from many. Maybe a lot of what I say the student won't respond to. That's okay. Then, you know, go find another class. But I have helped a lot of people do really well. So that's why I don't mind doing it and helping if it helps somebody. But I don't think I'm qualified to teach, because when I know the craft and I see the craft, and I'm not even, you know, good myself, by the way. I'm serviceable at best with a limited wheelhouse. But I have so much respect that I would rather them go to like a real class and all that stuff. That being said, also, there are a lot of scammy casting directors and agents and teachers in Hollywood who do these, you know, like weekend intensive and casting director workshops. They are fucking scams. Bullshit. They're just a way for them to make money because they can't make rent. Okay? So as long as they're doing that shit over there, I don't mind doing mine for free and having a way higher success rate than any of them. Okay. There's no such thing as a weekend intensive acting class that costs $1,000 of your hard. It's just a scam to rip off young, broke, hardworking babysitting money from these, you know, young people coming from all over the U.S. It's a fucking scam, and you guys know it. When I just started, I went to a casting director workshop, and I was like, hey, Jake, you're only going to 5, and it costs a lot of money. By my third one, I saw them exchanging cash and checks like it was like a mafia deal. I'm like, okay, that's weird. The guy was there. I had to read a scene. You know, I didn't know anything. And like my resume was almost empty because I had nothing on it. I was brand new. He goes, and he was falling asleep during everyone's thing. And he goes, you know what? That was good, but, you know, like, you're green. That's what he kept saying, you're green, based on the resume. I was like, oh, I'm green? I went home that night and I just made up a resume. And for my own sense of peace, as a little, you know, Easter egg for me, under one of them I put director John Lasselli. And I went back the next day. It's another agent, I think from the same talent agency. I forget exactly how it went. And then I did another scene. I just remember resume. He said, wow, you should come in for a meeting. You're very good. You're very seasoned. I said, oh yeah, thank you. By the way, that guy still works there. I said, okay, thank you. I was like, I'm never doing one of these again. By the way, Lasselli was an anagram for all lies. And I just did that to hold my own sanity. I'm like, let's see if these guys, and you know, that's why it's not like a meritocracy. He saw me the first day and goes, yeah, but you're green. So his second day and goes, you're very seasoned. I'm like, oh, did I learn how to act in a day? Or are you just being manipulated? So stupid. Anyway, so as long as they do these scammy classes, which teach you nothing, okay? That's like saying if you're, you know, out of shape, you know, overweight, and you haven't been to the gym in, you know, years. Well, we have a weekend intensive gym. For what? So that you feel like dog shit at the end of it and are sore and never want to go back? It's a regular thing. If you're going for 20 minutes a week to the gym for 3 years, I'll have more faith in you than you going to like a weekend intensive. So that's just a scam. Unless if, you know, like maybe the only out is that you're highly trained, like you need this weekend. I still do not support it. It is a scam. Okay, so much of Hollywood's a scam. This all the scammy stuff. Your goal is to find the flecks of diamonds there. Okay, the great directors, the great writers, the great producers, the great executives, the great actors, the great departments, and also, you know, there's a lot of them out there. Okay, those are the people you want to work with. Somehow go meet them. Just keep having coffees and surmising if they're serious about this. You know, serious, that they're, you know, competitive and they want to be the best and they want to outwork you. If they're trying to outwork you, you outwork them. They outwork you, you outwork them. And now you're building a team of people that are just hungry to work and shoot and create and produce and sell. And that's how you know, grow. Okay. Everyone else is a shithead out there. Just leave them around. Okay, those people don't know anything. Losers. I'll explain a lot of like the psychology in other classes about like why actors drink or do drugs or get in trouble. There's like a psychological component there regarding like the brain. You know, in the episode when we discussed the brain, I'll explain this. In the episode where we discussed the brain, I'll explain all this: why actors drink, get into drugs, sexual harassment on set. I'll explain, you know, Richard Burton, all these people. There's a science and a psychology behind it that I don't think a lot of people understand. But I, studied it while I was out there. I was like, oh, here's why. I can see it. You can see the math. You can see the science. Like, it's not random. You know, Johnny Carson, Yul Brynner, smoking, Humphrey Bogart, all these people, like the 27 Club, Chris Farley, Heath Ledger, all these things. There's a psychology behind it. Like, it's not random. There's a reason. But we'll go into all that. And like the Me Too movement and diversity and all that stuff. I have a lot of experience with that stuff, and we'll talk all about it, okay? Don't worry.
Now that I'm gone, I tell you, don't smoke. Whatever you do, just don't smoke.
The question of being an alcoholic, I'm not quite sure that I am one, but if I'm not one, I'm very near. I'm very right on the edge of being one. But it is no laughing matter. It really is not a laughing matter.
Are there well-known people in the show, in our business and show business, who are alcoholic that the public doesn't suspect? Obviously, I'm not asking for names, but do you know if
there are many recovered alcoholics in show business, many, and I was never crocked. I love that. During work.
Yeah.
I did not drink before work or during work or ever in the daytime, which was my own particular cop-out. I said, I'm not one of those guys who has to have a drink in the morning, and I do not drink in the daytime or at work. I drink at home after work. And that proves to me that I didn't have a drinking problem.
In your late 20s, you stopped drinking.
Stopped drinking, yeah.
Very difficult?
No, beautiful. Unbelievable.
Better.
Oh, are you kidding? I would never be sitting here with you. No way, no chance.
Because?
Because I wouldn't have been able to have access to myself or other people, or even been able to take in other people if I hadn't changed my life. No way. And I never would have been able to have relationships that I do. I never would have been able to take care of my father the way I did when he was sick. So many things.
I got sober because of this guy, and every day has been happier ever since. I love you, and I thank you.
I have no understanding of this other than my own. I was an alcoholic, but it's, and there are many.
Wait a minute, you were an alcoholic?
Yes, yeah. I would go to the doctor for a checkup, and he'd say, oh, geez, your liver seems a little swollen. And he said, do you drink? And I said, well, yeah, I have a beer every now and then. But that's not true. I was drunk every gosh dang day. Wow. And so finally, when I got to be 34 and I had another shot at television, I realized the only thing I can do to throw this away is let alcohol run my life. And boom, that was it. And I've not had anything to drink ever since. And oh, thank you very much.
My gosh,
I'm so grateful not to have that as a control of me, for better or for worse, and I'm so grateful that I didn't hurt someone else in the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so my description in class, which my teacher liked when he asked what acting is, I said, you are a water bottle filled to the brim with water. And the other person, or the whatever is like the motivating factor, has his or her hand on the bottle. So you are filled to the brim, and they have their hand on the bottle. You're the bottle. So how much they squeeze, it could be like a little dribble, or they could, blast it off. All right. And also another huge thing is in this field is to get to know, love, and respect all the other departments and jobs on a movie set or on a TV show or anything like that. There are so many other people there at the top of their game, working really hard on a thing you may find boring, but for them, they love it and they're so good at it. Down to like the ager dyer, okay? Like an ager dyer, they have to age a shirt and you dye a shirt. She is there working to age and dye that thing. She went to school for it. She has advanced degrees in it. Okay, from like the production office girls to the transpo to the electric, grip, sound, camera ops, craft services, catering, marketing, social media, directing, everyone, safety. There's so many roles, okay? And they're all important. Like I know we say, like above the line, whatever. It's stupid. They're all important. They're all critically important. And they're really good at their job. And you can learn a lot from them too. You should go talk to them, get to know them, okay? What that also does, by the way, selfishly, is it'll free you up to realize that you're not the only thing on set. You're just one component. You're just a part of it. It's a large production. You're just a part of it. As Michael Caine says, they pay you to wait. You're just a part of it. And when you're not necessary, get out. And when you are necessary, you're allowed to tell everyone else, get out. Okay, I have a rule that like the holiest place on set is the rehearsal, and I demand silence. Everybody out, except who has to be here. Silence. No walkies, no anything. This is now holy ground. And it is. And they all understand that. And then we do it, we nail it, we get excited. Then I will get out because other important people are coming in to do their job. Okay, it's a business. We're all just trying to do a job. Which is why, by the way, like I never understood in all these sets when people are competing with each other on the same show. You guys are all working together on the same show. If anything, go sack the other show so that you have more time slots or like another network. I don't get when interdepartmental stuff happens on the same show. We're on the same team here. And I've always liked the leadership that, espoused that. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, so learn how to direct. Learn how the camera works. Learn how sound works. Learn what it takes. Transpo guys seem like they're not doing anything during the day. You know why? Because they've been up since 11 p.m. the night before, working all night to get everything here. So now they're resting. And they're not exactly, resting. But while you were asleep, they were working their ass off. Okay? So just get to know every job and respect it. There's a girl I saw when I was like a nobody. She's like a young girl. She's like a teenage actress on like a kid show. And I saw her trying to move the chairs and everything. And all the crew's like, oh, yeah, you don't need to do that, honey. I know now, looking back, why she was doing that. She's like well trained to go respect everyone. She doesn't actually want to go move everything, but she wants to show that we're a team here. I know I'm 15 or 16, but we're a team. She was the lead of that show. We're a team, and I learned from that. I was like, oh, what a good way to be. What a way to guarantee that you're going to move a successful project together. You're working, 16, 17, 18-hour days for a long time, and that hopefully this keeps bearing more work for you too. And as you get to know people, there's I like working with this person. I like working with him or her. I was on a show once where the guy, I was nobody on the show. Then I got onto another show where I was a big person, and that guy was like, yo, and I won't spoil it, I'll tell you later, because I'm actually going to have him on for an episode. And I was like, I did not even knew that you knew I was in the last show. He goes, dude, yeah, of course, I'm the director. I know who everyone is. I was sick. And it's just nice, it's just nice because I was, well behaved and everything and nailed it. I don't know if I said earlier, that shoot that took 84 takes. Ever since then, then I went to school and I said, well, that's never going to happen again. And now I'm down to, so now I call myself 2-take Jake, and oftentimes only needs one. Because I'm just so overly ready, every stone unturned, because I had done the work, to train. And because that lives in me, the 84 takes when I had no training. So, we'll work together, we'll get training, these things take time. Outcompete everyone, outcompete yourself. Okay, bleed, leave no stone unturned. It is the hardest job because there's no farm system. Aim, if you compete, slit the enemy's throat, okay? Drink their blood out of their skull. I know it's art, but it's also business. It's a competition. You outwork everyone, so that it's easy for you. Just like when you play basketball or anything. You're sure there's nerves for a game, but you're not nervous on how to shoot because you've been training. Non-stop, constantly, thousands of shots, and you won't go in until you make all the shots. So you just make it harder for yourself and harder, and outcompete yourself always. I don't know why people are not this competitive. Okay, especially for people that are that don't have a natural inclination for it like I do. I'm saying there are actors and actresses out there who are just so naturally this. I'm not that. I was the opposite. So I was like, well, let's outwork everybody. Yeah, and then also we'll talk about nepotism, which kind of ruined everything. I just worked with a nepo baby, and one of the worst that I ever felt was I was an extra. This is year 1 or 2, and on this stupid commercial, and all there are all these beautiful young girls there who are the leads, and there's all of us. There was hundreds of extras, and they're all ethnic looking. And I remember one of them just said where did you all come from? And I was like, shit. I've been putting off these other things that I know I could do really well on this challenge for myself. And slaving away, and I have no mentorship, no nothing, no guidance, no nothing. And she's like, where'd you guys come from? And she was 18 and had it handed to her. I know her story. She had connections that just swooped her in there. So she never had to go through this grind of the PA and the hustling and anything. I've had to do horrible jobs in Hollywood. When I first started off, just to get to know people and how it works and the machinations and understand bleeding and Oh my God, honey, I got some good stories for you. But yeah, like I just felt awful when I heard that. I was like, you have never had to try hard. You just showed up, and I was like, anyway, I don't know why I just said that, but I know who that is still. But that's it for now, baby. I think this might have been a mess. I tried to make it a perfect episode, and it's just a mess. But the imperfections are also perfect and interesting.
And allow yourself to be beautiful while you do it.
Well, I would say as beautiful, but also as fallible and as flawed. I mean,
but the flaws are beautiful too.
Yes, I agree.
I agree. Whoever you're portraying on stage, there's a beauty there. Beauty doesn't mean good.
So take from it what you will. This is called acting, and how to make a lot of money doing it is a business, and you should be well trained. And I have a lot of respect for it now from my brothers and sisters in the trenches out there. I am very grateful for all the people that gave me a shot, the very few people who did. I love you so much. You guys have forever changed me. And I'm a different man than when I started to now. I don't have like the passion for it quite as much anymore, because now it's there's other things, because for me it's mission accomplished. And I have a lot of respect for the people that just want to do this. Good for you. Keep it up. And but this is like a version of me, using some of those skills. Learn about all the other roles on set. Eat, breathe, and live it. Cinema, because it'll free you up to understand how small your role is. Like you're just a prop there to, that has to do a thing. You're like a vessel for the words, and then get off because we got other things to do. That should actually free you up in your acting. And be overly trained. I don't know why everyone thinks that this can happen overnight, but just keep training. When everyone else is sleeping, keep training. Make it harder. Ask for another scene. Memorize faster. Break it down faster. Get it accurate. Shoot it yourself on your iPhone. Look it back. See what could be done better. Go again. Day after day after day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And when people look at you and go, oh yeah, you're an actor. Just look at them and go, you're such a loser. Just look at them and go, what do you do all day? You drink and you sell insurance or something. I don't know. It's like, you're trying something out. These people are not like alive, like that Indian doctor guy. He's just not alive. It's like a dead man walking. And also, like, if he wants to measure dicks, I did better than him. Okay. So, so that's it, honey. It's a competition, but it's art, and when it all comes together beautifully, it is just a tremendous thing, honey. Just a tremendous thing you can make. Oftentimes people get jaded and stuff like that, and I understand. I was on a show where I literally asked the writer, I was like, no offense, but I think how I'm saying this, like, is this the best we can do, like, in terms of story? She goes, I know exactly what you're saying. She goes, no, we're being led by like the suits because we have to sell a product here. It's like the same issue with like the network news or like the news. It's an issue of like Concision and who our audience is and things like that. She goes, no, but this isn't like the best writing I could do. I have to service the thing. But I get these moments. I was like, all right, cool, I understand that. And when I was new, I was on a show where I had an issue with the script, and I asked everybody else who were all seasoned, and they said, I don't care about the script. This buys my second house. I was like, okay. And I was so brand new that I just cared about the art. But, it's just another, growth thing to see them, go do that. I'm like, okay. And then sometimes you get to do art that's like Lawrence of Arabia, and you go, how did this get made? 4 hours in the desert, 70 millimeter, with a face like that, Florence of Arabia. How did you do this with all these extras and camels and the war scene and the explode? How did you? I don't know. And everyone in it is now gone. Okay, dead. But I'm still talking about it. The original guy is dead, and now everyone from the movie's dead, and I'm watching. One day I'll be gone. But yeah.
But in 100 years, when you and I are both long gone, anytime someone threads a frame of yours through a sprocket, you will be alive again. You see what that means? One day, every person on every film shot this year will be dead. And one day, all those films will be pulled from the vaults. And all their ghosts will dine together, and adventure together, go to the jungle, to war together. A child born in 50 years will stumble across your image, flickering on a screen, and feel he knows you, like a friend. Though you breathed your last before he breathed his first. You've been given a gift. Be grateful. Your time today is through, but you'll spend eternity with angels and ghosts.
And like you'll see, I was on doing press for some shows, and I was on Times Square and stuff like that. It just didn't matter. You see, like that's like the chasm that I'm trying to bridge here, because the fame is not the thing. Like no one worth their salt cares. You just want to do that, like the work, that moment. That's the fun part. By the way, that speaks a little bit to why actors drink and all this stuff is because they have a lot of downtime, so they need other things to do because like the highs of it is so high. Then you come back and so it's not actually the drinking and stuff. Like I wish I could go tell these actors that that's what the issue is. Like you're not going after the bottle. You want like the dopamine release from it. So. Anyway, more on that later. Here's a class I did with my friend. She is brand spanking new, but she's good. She has something going for her. And I think, you'll notice a couple lessons right off the bat is that she kind of feels, and it seems like she's going to be good overnight. And I told her the only thing you could do wrong now is to break your streak of just going to class all the time. Okay? And just getting ripped. Get ripped. Ask to get ripped. Say, thank you, sir. May I have another? Rip me. I want to be embarrassed. Embarrass me. Then write down all the things you did wrong, work on those, work on them again and again and again. How am I doing better with this? Stillness, listening, memorization, this, whatever it is. Okay, character work, backstory. Did I do this? Work. It is work. Okay? They make it look easy because they did so much work. Okay, like the work is done. And then they're just going in there and it's like, yeah, I know how to do this. It's not like, how do I, but then where do I, and then, wait, is it my line? No. Like there's so much work done beforehand. Then you see it, why they are like a certain way on set with that, confidence and that sort of feel. It's because it doesn't come from nowhere. It's because they've been working for years, training in the trenches. And now they're ready. They're like, yeah, I'm overly ready. Roll it. And they go. And they become one take Jake or two take Jake, whatever, right? But that comes through work, not overnight. But it's a lot of fun if you do it. And it's rewarding, I feel. And you meet a lot of great people. You have a lot of good stories. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Now I'm trying to move behind the lens and more to the writing side, but like the shooting side as well. And all my friends know that like I could see that you're more of like a director than that. I was like, yeah, I think so too. I'm like noticing that. But I have an amazing appreciation. I have an intense appreciation for actors and acting because I've gone through it. And yeah. Anyway, it'll be good to see you. It'll be good to see you. I'm gonna stop talking now. My throat's gone so raw. I love you and I love you. Ciao. Bye.
Hi.
You hear me okay?
Yeah.
I started recording. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know why I look like I'm in like Guantanamo Bay, just a bunker. They gave me instruments and
Oh my god, I love it.
how you doing? Do I have a filter on or something? I hope this better not be
You
my
look,
face.
you're glowing. Something's going
yeah.
on.
Like this emo
Yeah.
filter thing I did not know was on. Cool, I'll take it. How you doing?
Oh
You
my
look-
god, I love it. Thank you. Oh my god, I don't understand this scene at all.
Sure.
Like, I memorized.
Yeah.
But there's some words that I'm just like, I don't know what she means by any of it. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what she's saying.
That's okay. Yeah, so let's work together. Like, do you wanna let me get that scene. I just had it up. Do you want to get anything off your chest or should we just go right into it from my end? Like how do you want to approach this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
Then-
honestly have no idea.
Yeah, that's all right. Do you mind if I lead then?
Yes, please,
Okay.
please lead.
Okay, sweet. Let's set your phone and everything down in front of you so that you can be free and kind of, move your arms and, take a minute
Okay.
to kind of, feel comfortable so we can.
I'm trying to see where the hell I'm gonna put my phone because I'm not doing it in my room. My room is a mess right now. So I am probably just gonna set it. Should I set this? I should have thought of this before.
Yeah, you're fine. Let me give you a minute. I'm going to mute myself and just look at the.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
So I'll be back in like a minute or two, but you can get set
Okay.
up, and, get some water, feel comfortable.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know where to set this up.
Hey, feeling you all right?
Yeah,
Very
I'm
cool.
kind of nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous right now.
That's okay to be nervous. I think it actually makes sense that you're nervous, and it would be weird if you were not nervous. Like that would actually be more concerning right now. So
Really?
yeah. Is your phone on silent, like on do not disturb or whatever?
Oh yeah, shoot. I should put that.
why I am, surreptitiously saying all this is because if you notice, like an actor gets ready, for their thing.
Yeah.
Where they want, just as much out of the way where they can just, be in the scene because, one of the key parts to like shooting is when we think of a movie or like we think about an actor on set or whatever, it's, crazy to outsiders that they even somehow can, do that. But the more training we get, what we're actually doing is we're going to small in the movie down to like a scene, down to a moment, down to just a person, down to just a small thing where you don't even notice that there are other cameras or extras or anybody there. It's just literally you and the thing that you're working off of. And also, like, it may not even be a human. For, Jurassic Park, they put a picture of a dinosaur, on a broom, and like a PA had to go like this. And then they had to go like this. So there isn't even a human there. Like there isn't even a dinosaur. So, oftentimes we're just reacting to, so, and also there's no way to become a good actor without it, taking, some time. So you'll never be an overnight success, but like, I do promise you, like, if you work at it, consistently for like a lot shorter than you think, by the way, but if you, consistently do it, you will begin to have your own like Lucia way and be like, oh, you know what? I see that it's not as hard as I thought it was when I just got started. It's, sort of like going to the gym. Like the first time you go after the holidays, you're like, oh my God. But if you go every week, once a week, you're like, oh, I know this, I know this place.
Totally.
And I can't tell you, like, I can't emphasize this enough, in an acting class, why they charge so much and all this stuff. And like, even that note you wrote me about, everyone being wacky there. One of the most like amazing stats with Hollywood is 99% of people don't make it because they just simply don't follow the rules. And, there are rules to this.
There is.
So let's go through some of the rules.
Yeah.
Let's export, us trying to be perfect here. We're not trying to be perfect or anything. Let's actually aim to be bad. And if you nail it, that's the only way that you can fail. Like, say you crushed it right now, I'd be like, Lucia, our goal was to be bad. You see what I'm saying? It's a little bit like a mental trick,
Yeah.
So you could do it as weirdly as you want. So yeah, so you read the scene. Like, could I ask like how many times you read it?
So last night I stayed up to like 3 a.m. reading it over and over and over and over again. Just like trying to get it down, like the lines, and then trying to understand the scene in general.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How about we read it once without acting? And then let's see what you think of it, and let's see what I think of it, and then let's see where we mesh. Yeah?
Yeah. It helps to read with someone because I'm like reading it by myself and I'm like,
right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, totally. So I'll read all of the stage direction and I'll be the guy, and then you just be the girl, yeah?
Okay.
Now that got to him. Interior bedroom at the house, continuous. James Taylor's voice flows here too as Tommy lays on his back on the floor, joint in hand, while Lacey Farris, late 20s, sorts through her endless record collection. He's good live. And remember, we're not trying to act here. Let's just, read the words. He's good live. Private concert in your living room. Perks of being a top radio program director.
Perks of being a good friend. He wrote this while in treatment. It's about Suzanne's suicide. Did you know her?
Suzanne? No. Lacey places on a record. First comes that vinyl hiss, and then Van Morrison's Into the Mystic. Lacey lays down beside Tommy, taking the joint. For a moment, the two just listen to the music, lost in the lyrics.
Heard about Miami.
Was nothing.
Didn't sound like nothing. You're a promo man, Tommy. What the hell happened to you just convincing the guys on my station to play the music you're being paid to promote? You do that better than anyone. What the hell are you doing getting in between Roman Prince and Morris?
Come on, it was just once. Besides, we're still covering your guys at the station just fine.
Really? They tell me they're feeling pretty lonely.
What are you talking about? Bruce was just over there today.
No, he wasn't.
The comment throws Tommy, but he covers it to not show it, and Lacey just keeps traveling on her train of thought.
I'm really serious, Tommy. Your name's coming up an awful lot these days, and I'm not so sure that's a good thing. Things are changing.
Thought you said change was always a good thing. Tommy places his fingers to her neck, then kissing there.
Yeah. How are things changing at home with you and your wife?
Don't do that. When I'm out here, you are my home. You know that. You know me, Lace.
Nobody knows anyone, Tommy. Not that well.
Come on, you really want me moving out here, moving in here with you?
That's not what I'm asking. You can come to my house, lay in my bed, and we can keep each other warm. Just saying the world's starting to grow around us. One of these days, we're gonna have to join them.
Tommy stares back. She just gets so deeply under his skin. Maybe, but not tonight, we don't. He makes her crazy and gets under her skin just as deeply.
No, not tonight, we don't.
Great. That was great. Okay, so you read it. You are maybe like how far memorized? Like half of it, all of it? Where are you on memorization?
I'm, for the most part, pretty memorized. It's just some words I'm kind of like,
That's fine.
slipping through.
When it comes to acting, let's I'm going to talk about the memorization, your technique later, and then let's talk about the words later, which is not like a huge concern at all. But let's talk about what your interpretation of what the hell is going on in these 2 pages. I think it's a good scene, by the way, for you.
Okay.
What do you think?
What do I think? Sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
So I think that they're having an affair, as most music people do. And I think she works at like a radio station, and he's a promoter, obviously. And I think that they're at her apartment or house, whatever, house. And he's over there, they're smoking and stuff, but she's also kind of confronting him about certain life situations that he needs to kind of think about, because he's kind of just like in love or like in a romance, and he's not thinking about like the outcome in a way. So she's kind of like trying to open his eyes. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, is like if she's upset with him, or she's just saying it in a lovey-dovey way, or she's having mixed emotions. Like I'm trying to figure out what her intentions are more than his,
Sure. Was there anything else?
No, that's pretty much what I got.
I think that was a great interpretation. I think you like already got a lot, right off the bat. And there's some more that I'd like to add that I noticed, and you can see if you agree. Yeah. Okay. Let's imagine this with like a directing hat on, like as if you are the director and you hired a couple actors. How would you shoot this scene? And also imagine you're the writer. What are you trying to like accomplish by this scene? So if you notice, how would you describe her behavior in the first, full page?
She's kind of giving me like a mom vibe, like she's not like his mom, obviously, but kind of like a mothering side of the relationship.
What is she mothering there? That's a good word choice you chose. What is she mothering?
She's the part where she is talking about him playing the music that he's being paid to promote. Like, what the hell happened to that? I thought you were supposed to be doing that. Like, she's kind of keeping him in check.
Okay. So like a mother keeps you in check. Like a mother's she is half owner of the home. She's a disciplinarian. She means business. She wants the best for you.
Yeah.
She's not there to go hang out with you. She wants the best for you. It's like a version of like a boss. She is in business mode in the first page, is she not?
Yeah, she's pretty business. Yeah.
She's needling him about these, decisions, like you're supposed to do this. How come you do this? Like I noticed this, we have to keep up with people. Like she's almost, who do you think is older here? Actually older.
I think she's older.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I had a different interpretation because.
You think that he's older?
Well, he's married, so I assumed he was older.
True.
It doesn't necessarily mean that he is, but what was interesting here is, I thought she was younger, but she is trying to get him in check. And by the way, oftentimes, with a guy or a girl who are the same age, say you're 24, you have a 24-year-old husband or spouse or whatever. who do you think is actually more mature there? You or the guy?
Me.
Right. Because girls tend to be more mature than guys, especially around that age, no?
Totally. Yeah.
So like oftentimes like a 30-year-old man is as mature as like a 23-year-old girl sometimes, right? They just
Yeah.
elementally are like a little different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you may have some experiences from this in your dating life. I know I have them because I dated someone 3 years older than me, and she was already more mature than me, and she was 3 years older. So she's actually like 6 or 7 years older than me, and I was just not like a serious person back then, right?
Yeah.
Hang on one second. Hang on one second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, no, you're good. Sorry, I'm just putting Brando downstairs because he's whining and it's distracting me.
Yeah, no worries.
Hold on. Sorry. Stay. He's driving me nuts all morning. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, let's get back to our
Yes, yeah.
good. Yeah, so I'm noticing that too. Like, I like how you said that. She's a mother. She is like mothering him there. Basically, he's a guy who's not quite taking it seriously. She sees what like potential he has, things like that. And what do you think that he's actually there to do? Guys are like, what are guys like?
He's there to get laid,
Right. He's there to, fuck. Like, he's not
Mhm.
quite taking it seriously. And
Yeah.
so now let's, build like the scene a bit more. Are they standing up?
I pictured her standing up because she was switching the records.
Mhm.
Or she's looking through the records and then she's kind of like listening to what he's saying and then but she's also like paying attention to what she's going to play. So I see her standing up and he's laying down.
Right.
And then I think she lays down or sits down with him. So I don't know if I should lay down or I should sit,
Let's not worry about that just yet. We're trying to build, like, as a writer or as a director, like, let's not be actors here. Let's be the writer or like director, because oftentimes that frees us up to see what the actors should be doing, right? Like, what
Yeah.
actually being the actor. Okay. So here, they specifically wrote that he's laying on his back on the floor first.
Mhm.
And then halfway through the first page, she joins him on her back. And then halfway through the second page, he touches her neck, which is very intimate, no?
Very.
And then he kisses her there, which is even more intimate.
Yeah.
And then there's something there where they stare at each other. She just gets so deeply under his skin, he makes her crazy. Do you see how the scene is, progressing towards intimacy, and now she's losing control? Like, she had
Yeah.
control at the beginning. She was an authoritarian. She was a mom.
Yeah.
By the end, she got unwound by this guy.
Yeah. Now
Could only
she's starting to
be-
lose.
Right. She could only be like authoritarian for so long. He may be older or not. She knows this is, dangerous and wrong because he's a married guy. Also, they're both what?
They're
Smoking.
both smoking a joint. So she's a little like loopy.
Right, exactly. So like you're adding all these layers of like, of like, what is the mood here? You know what I mean? Like, what is you're noticing over time, she starts in a place and now she's, like, I can't resist this thing. And then she's getting a little bit loopy. He's getting a little loopy. And then he's being like a typical, guy. And so that's like the beauty of this scene here. And I don't think that anyone needs to go like over the top or anything, because this isn't, like theater. This is, going to be recorded. So just sort of, melt into that sort of, vibe here before you start. That like you see a future for this band or this, radio station, whatever it is. And then slowly you're just like, oh, fucking hell. Like I can't take it seriously. Like I don't want to speak personally, but like you may have, been there in your past. I know I have for sure.
Yeah, for
I've been on
sure.
both sides of this equation. For sure. I know exactly what's going on here. So, so
Yeah.
let's let's have a look again. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And now I'm not sure if I should do this just yet, but let's flip your page over.
Like the whole thing?
Yeah, let's just kind of, free up a bit.
Okay.
And one thing when it comes to these lines that are in the script, the first line is so your first line is literally perks of being a good friend. He wrote this while in treatment. It's about Suzanne's suicide. Did you know her? But let's forget that. And I want you to convey the idea of that line in some other words.
Okay.
So, how I would do it, I'm just going to use it as an example. You know what? It's actually the benefits of having a homie who's in the studio. Did you know while he was getting over heroin that he actually wrote this fucking song? It's about someone's suicide. I think it's about like his friend's suicide. Wait a second. Did you know his friend? You see how like the idea is still being conveyed there. But I wasn't word perfect, which is fine. But it's just an exercise for you to understand like the acting behind that line. And then we can actually go learn literally the line later. Like that's not important because the writer's never going to go, she nailed every word. Her acting sucked, but she nailed every word. Versus them going, she fucking nailed the acting. She screwed up a word or two here, but I actually like her version better. You see what I mean? Because you like delivered on what that wording was about.
Yeah.
Does that make sense there, what I'm saying?
Totally. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's not, try to be, word perfect here. Just, convey the idea in your own words.
Okay.
And also, try to fail here. Like, don't be good.
Okay.
Yeah. You try to be bad.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try to be bad.
Hey, do you want to smoke a joint real quick?
Hell yeah, I do.
Yo, this is James Taylor, right?
It is, yeah.
He's really good live. I mean, like, this is like having like a private concert in your own fucking living room. So like these are the joys of being the radio program director, huh?
Yeah. Especially when you are friends with everyone there. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
You know that he actually I think he was doing heroin or he was doing, I don't know what drug he was on, but he was in treatment and then he wrote this for his friend who actually killed herself.
Whoa.
Did you happen to know her?
His friend that killed herself?
Yes.
No.
Hmm. I heard about your time in Miami. Seemed fun.
That was like literally nothing. That's just like so overblown.
What are you talking about? Everyone says there was something there. There's something going on. I mean, aren't you like in this industry? Aren't you like a promoter? Aren't you in that field? Like, I mean, weren't you supposed to go down to the station and tell all the guys that you wanted to play your music that you literally promote? I mean, that's literally what you're good at.
All right, look. Yeah, okay. Like my, fuck ups or whatever, like it just happened one time. And also we're getting the job done, so don't worry about it.
Whatever you say.
I'm going to stop right there. Like I already noticed that the acting was more like real from you.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, like you were trying to get loose by actually, like I could see you, like letting go of the script, which is
Yeah.
good. And you're trying to put it into your own words, which is good.
Yeah.
But if I shot that scene, already that would look good from you because I could see you doing these small things where you were, working off me, working off of, what I was saying live. And like, that is what, good acting is. And then we will eventually go get to the lines, but you were, communicating the idea behind each line there, really well, in my opinion. And also that was just the first go.
Okay.
So let's try that again. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Again, you put it into your own words. Have less doubt, because I can see that there's some doubt, like whether you have authority to do this, like you, Lucia, and I'm letting you know you have the authority to do like almost whatever you want here.
Yeah.
Goal is just to listen and to eventually convey the idea behind each line. You don't have to be word perfect.
Okay.
Okay. And so let's just communicate, and then eventually we will get to the actual lines. Hey baby, do you want to hit this?
Yeah.
This is James Taylor, right?
Sure is.
He's good live. This is like having a private concert or something in your own place. This is like the best part of being a radio DJ, producer, whatever the hell you are, right?
Yeah. I mean, you are a good friend, so you're helping out a lot of people. But did you know that James Taylor, when he was recording this, I think he was like in rehab or treatment or something, and he wrote it for Susanna, who I think she killed herself.
Whoa.
Wait, I think you knew Susanna, right?
No, I'm not 100 years old. I don't know Susanna.
I heard about Miami.
That was nothing. Don't worry about it.
Literally everyone has said there was something, and there was a lot that went down. What are you talking about? I mean, you're literally a promoter. Like, you're a promo dude. Like, you promote your music, and you're supposed to go to my station and tell the guys that you wanted to play your music, which obviously you are paid to do so, and you didn't. I don't know what your problem is, dude. I don't know why you're not hanging on to that. I thought you liked doing what you like to do.
Jeez, I didn't know my mom was here. I thought smoking and joints was like chill you out. Look, it was
Well,
just one time, okay? Besides, we're still doing our job fine, so we're good. You're good. I'm good. Everything's good. Just like chill.
really? Well, that's not what they say. They say that they're feeling real lonely. Real lonely.
What are you talking about? Bruce was just over there today.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I'm being serious, dude. I'm being so dead serious right now. Your name has been mentioned a few times, and it doesn't mean it's like a good thing necessarily. So, I mean, the world is changing, and we gotta at some point, adapt or figure it out, you
Hang
know?
on. You told me that change was a good thing.
Not between you and your wife, because that's not changing.
Don't do
How's that going?
Yeah. Let's not do that. When I'm out here, it's just you and me, right? It's just you and me. Hey. Hey. It's just you and me. Yeah?
Yeah, well, no one really knows anybody. Not that well.
Okay. Do you really want me moving out here? Like moving in here with you? I can do that if you want.
Yes. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I want you to come over and I want you to chill and relax and, we do what we do, but everything is changing. Everything is growing, and at some point we have to figure it out. And I feel like we're just in the same space as we always are. You know?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Mm.
Not tonight, right?
No, I mean, not tonight.
How did that feel for you?
Good. A little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
I feel like, where was that going? I don't know, but it felt good. It felt
I
it
agree.
felt like more free.
I
Yeah.
think, and mind you, that was only your second take of like a rehearsal. And I felt like you had like dramatically not just improved, but like you felt more free. You felt more confident to make, bold choices and like to be wrong once in a while with the word. You're like, who cares? Let's keep going. And like you
Yeah.
were working off me, like I felt like I was working off you. And so you were, conveying the idea behind each line. You were conveying her, intent, inhibitions, how she's being, wound up and then, unwound by him. Like and also that was just your second take, let alone you, getting it ready for a class or like a day on set where you'll have like 1,000 takes to get things ready and go, it's
Yeah.
just like, if that's your second take, then you're already, way ahead of everybody. Do you see how like the important part was like letting go of this, fear of you trying to be perfect?
Yeah.
Now this is all on digital. Like it's not on film. Like we can keep doing takes and having fun. And like the writers appreciate that too. Cause like you may find moments that are like uniquely Lucia where they're like, whoa, like I didn't see that. And like, that's awesome that like you put your own, flavor on it. So
Thank
now
you.
yeah. So now let's try to, I mean, I'm afraid to bring the memorization back because I feel like you might get restricted again, but should we try it maybe?
Yeah, we could try it.
Let's try it. And if we, fuck it up, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Huh. Okay. I got this. All right.
He's good live. This is like it's like a private concert in your living room. It's a perks of being a top radio program director, right?
I think it's just the perks of being a good friend.
Hmm.
He wrote this while he was in treatment. It was about Suzanne who died of suicide.
Hmm.
Did you know her?
Suzanne, no. Hmm.
Oh, I heard about Miami.
That was nothing.
I mean, didn't sound like nothing. You're a promo man, Tommy. I mean, what the hell? I thought you were supposed to go down to the station with the guys and promote the music that you're being paid to promote. I mean, that's what you're good at. And what the hell are you doing getting in between Roman Prince and Morris?
All right, come on. First of all, that was just once, and we're still covering you guys at the station just fine. So we're good.
Really? Well, they're saying they're feeling pretty lonely.
Talking about Bruce was just over there today.
No, he wasn't. He, you, it. Hold on 1 second.
I'm really serious, Tommy.
I'm really serious, Tommy. I mean, fuck. Sorry. Your
It's okay.
name is coming up.
Flip it over.
I'm really okay. Do it over. No,
Flip
he
the
wasn't.
page over. Make sure that you don't see the words anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. I'll help
No.
you.
Okay.
He wasn't. I'm really serious, Tommy. Your name's coming up.
An awful lot recently. Things are changing. That's not necessarily a good thing. Things are changing. Okay.
What are you talking
No, he
about?
wasn't.
This was just over here today.
No, he wasn't. I'm being serious, Tommy. Your name's been coming up an awful lot recently, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Things are changing.
I thought you said that change was always a good thing.
Yeah? Well, how are things changing at home with your wife?
Seriously, don't do that. Hey, when I'm out here, it's just you and me, okay? It's just you and me. You know that.
That's not what I'm asking. You can come over, we can lay in bed, keep each other warm. I'm just saying the world is growing around us, and one of us is going to have to join them.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, but not tonight, right? Right?
No. Last night.
They're good. So that's us now, like using the words, and
Yeah.
that felt pretty good. That's getting somewhere.
Yeah.
You see how with each iteration you seem to be like, like it's harder going from like the free thing that we were doing the last time, back to the words, but like you're way more present and like working off of me. And even when we, like threw away the line there, you remembered it, real quick, and like the mood of it and why.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going to happen most likely tomorrow in class, and this is something that I've always said to anyone who's studied acting with me, is that like for some reason, whatever you've worked on here in like the privacy of your house, when we get to that stage and we're surrounded by all these young people, and there's a teacher, for some reason we just like throw it out the window.
Yeah.
I
I was
don't know
just
why.
thinking. That's
But
so funny.
what I've always told people is this: you must protect what you've worked on here, like a Fabergé egg. Do you know what a Fabergé egg is?
I do.
Okay. You
Yeah.
must protect this baby like it is the most expensive, and just do not let other people interfere with you. You are in the fucking zone for this scene. You know what's
Yes.
happening here. You know about the intimacy. You know about the emotional priming. I would even just kind of, sink into it. And there's going to be so many distractions. All these stupid kids, okay? By the way, they're not going anywhere. Okay? They're all
know.
heading back to Oklahoma next year. So, only very few continue on to make the big bucks, and those are the people who are protecting what they worked on hardcore.
Yeah.
So even though there's going to be a lot of people doing a lot of things, you remember, Lucia, what this scene is, that you can be free of the words, that you're conveying the emotion. You know what the stakes are here. Work off your scene partner, lose yourself in this scene, forget that there's anybody there, and have somebody
Yeah.
have to snap you out of it, be like, and scene, hey, I show you, and you're like, whoa, I forgot where I was. I would even, and this is a technical thing, okay, but so you have to decide if it works for you.
Yeah.
Before you started this scene, you went like, okay, let's go, but I wouldn't do that, because that doesn't agree with the scene.
No, it doesn't.
That's two different energies. You went, okay, you know what? I got this. And scene, start. I was like, whoa. Those are like two different energies now. I would just, seamlessly sink into it. Seamlessly just fucking sink into the scene. And if anyone stares at you, or like they think they're weird, or that you're weird, they're wrong. Because you're about to fucking nail the scene. And they're there to go hang out with people, which is fine, but you're there to become a better actor every time.
Totally.
And then they're going to see at the end when like the teacher's like, yeah, you smoked that. You'll be like, yeah, I know. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. That's
So
what I'm doing.
yeah. And that's the seriousness, with which this, and that's why, like even in the start of this call, we said, set the phone down. Let's get everything ready. That's called emotional preparation. Like we have to get like emotionally ready even before we even walk into the school or walk into the audition. I've seen so many actors spend a lot of money and work really hard on their auditions, and then they go to the waiting room where they see 30 people that look just like them, and they completely lose everything that they worked on. And I'm just like, I don't know why you guys did this, but the actors that always make it are fucking prepared. Like they don't even notice that there's anyone there.
Yeah.
Because they're just there to go do the damn job. And right now you just did the damn job. And let's see if you can self bring that into the class tomorrow.
Yeah.
Some of like the key lessons here are this: you aim to be bad, because the thing is, you won't be bad. But when you're aiming to be word perfect and everything, you will be bad. When you're aiming to nail everything down, like it's noticeable that you're not the character. We can tell that you're scared to go be free.
Yeah.
And like
I know. I have that problem.
Oh yeah, well, that's the number one problem in acting, is that like everyone is trying to be perfect, and like it's like a creative industry. Like as long as you aren't speaking Arabic and saying something that is just like, well, the spaceship is, it's like, whoa, like you're on the wrong scene. Like as long as you're talking about the scene and you're conveying the idea, like that is like 95% of what acting is.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, because you're playing you're playing like a real thing, you know, you're stepping into someone else's shoes and you're creating, you know.
And that doesn't begin at action, okay?
Yeah.
It begins, like several minutes or even like hours beforehand. When I go to class, when I go to set, like it is almost like a meditative experience where like I am just, uninterrupted.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyway,
I didn't even touch me.
I like Lucia the pickle.
I know.
You're
I
wearing the
love pickles.
You're wearing the right top for that. Okay.
I know.
All right. So what questions do you have? What feedback or what do you want to know? What can I help you with? How do you
Yes,
feel?
please.
What are you still like unclear on or you're nervous about or whatever?
One thing that I'm kind of, so basically I'll tell you how the class usually goes. So we get in there and then we do like a warm up, whatever, and then we start our scenes. But for the scenes, I don't have a scene partner. It's the teacher that does the lines with me. And I set up the scene, like I can bring props. I just kind of like play, you know? And it's just kind of, I'm so used to classes where I have a scene partner and it's more realistic because you're like getting you're getting that energy from a real person. I'm not saying that he's not, but it's different because he has like the lines in front of him and it's like going in an audition, you know? Because he's a casting director. So he makes it like that, you know? But I don't know if I should bring anything for this, or I don't know, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this scene, you know?
Could I give you a piece of advice that I hope you reflect on like all throughout your life? Okay. And this is, specific to you, just because I feel like I know you like a little bit enough now to say this. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
You need to have the confidence and the authority to do whatever the fuck you want. And you need to have the confidence and the authority. And if you need the permission, then you have it from me to be overwhelming. Okay. Overwhelm people with whatever you want to do and expect oftentimes for them to say, hey, that's the wrong decision, and go, great, let me try again. But like I want you to be like overwhelming, like a wave of Lucia. Okay. And I don't know if you naturally have that, your confidence or not, but if you don't, work on that over time. It takes time and experience to gain that confidence, but it's going to yield everything for you. It's going to like unlock the world for you. Even now, when he says, what props do you want to bring? Be overwhelming. I want to bring a chair. I want to bring a joint. I want to bring a hoodie. I want to bring a record. I want to bring like a stick just because I just want to be holding a stick as I look at the records. Who cares?
I like it.
Yeah. But the point is for you, Lucia, to be like a force to be reckoned with. You are just a wave. You are like an authority, especially when it comes to acting, by the way. But this is also like a good lesson for life. But like in acting, you can never have doubts. Even if what you did is wrong, be like, okay, that was wrong. Let's go again. But if you have doubts in front of the lens or in front of the audience, like it will be magnified. And there's no room for doubt in acting, even if it's a wrong choice. Just proudly and with the authority, make that choice. So here we know that we're in a house with records, smoking a joint. Maybe there's, I don't know, like we're talking about your music. You bring whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And if he goes, hey, that was a stupid choice, go, okay. That's why it's a class. Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, buddy. That's what you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, teach. That's what you say.
Exactly.
Like it's almost like a fuck you, it's almost
a
like
polite way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Without being a dick, like you're not being a dick, but you need that confidence. Like you need overwhelming confidence.
Yeah, I know.
So just make choices here, whatever you want. It's, your class, like we're supposed to fail here because you're not on set yet. In a class, you should crave the failing.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I want to fail because every time I fail, I know that I'm getting better and better and better. And so then if I fail 1,000 times, I'm now 1,000 times better than I was 1,000. But if I keep trying to be, you know, I don't know what to do. Should I bring, it's like, ah, dude, like we're not getting anywhere, man. Who's that girl who's in Euphoria, you know, like that new, you know, It girl, whatever, like the blondie, whatever.
Oh, Sydney Sweeney.
Okay, sure. She is a force of confidence.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. She stands 7 feet tall, even though she's not. She's, you know, 5'1" or whatever.
Yeah, she's
But
little.
she stands 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
She is a giant. And I know that she's been, you know, fucked with a lot. I bet you there's a lot of creepy guys, casting directors, you know, all this shit that says that she's not good enough. And she said, fuck you, watch this. So you need that authority, you know, wherever you get that from. And you know, that doesn't happen overnight, but like I hope that you know, Lucia, from a friend to a friend, will always keep like recognizing that, you know, we're just getting older. There's no time for us to look back and go, I wish I had done this when I was in 22 or 23 or 24, 25. Have the authority now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I know. I have to. There's moments where I do feel confident. Like I feel confident when I'm like being funny or being stupid.
Good.
Like that's the most I feel confident. But then when I'm being dramatic or I like confrontation, I'm like, ooh, you know, I feel like very standoffish. Once I get into it, then I'm like, for sure, bad bitch. I could do this. But then I don't know. I don't know what it is recently though. I haven't felt extremely confident. I feel like everything I say is wrong. And it's just like in life, I just feel that way. And I haven't felt that way before, but it's like the second I've turned 24, I feel like everything I say is wrong. Or everything I do is wrong. And I don't know what it is.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like,
don't worry.
yeah.
I'm glad that you're, you know, like aware of this and kind of, you know, working on it. I will let you know that not everything you're saying is wrong. You know, like you're doing great, I think. And like the beauty of a scene like this is that, do you see how you said like, I'm not sure about your confrontation, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But right now what we're doing is we're going to small in this movie to just this little scene, like to just this little moment between two people. And we know what the rules are. He may be a little bit older. He's definitely cheating on his wife. You're the girl that he's cheating with. You're trying to, you know, set him right. And then he, you know, unwinds you. So like right now, that's all we have to like worry about here and like have fun with too. Like you can, you know, poke your partner a bit and you know, kind of, you know, get under his skin. You know, grab his dick if you want to on stage. Oh, sorry, it's your teacher. That's what I would do. Like I would just fuck with, oh my God, I would just like, you know, fuck with my partner. And that like it just, you know, brings something out of us. Like that's what the point of your class is. You know?
True.
But have
get out of your head.
Yeah, but you know, like I never liked that saying because like I never knew what that meant. You know, get out of your head. But just have the authority to be wrong. And I bet you're accidentally overwhelmingly going to be right all the time. But it's when you're aiming to be perfect that like it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it looks stupid.
Yeah, like, you know, we can all tell that like you're trying to be perfect. And then I was like, well, you know, this scene feels wrong for some reason, but it's because you're trying to be perfect. Just have fun, be loose, convey the idea, you know, prod them a bit, and be like, fuck you, you know, like, you know, you can swear at the teacher, you know, who cares?
Yeah.
And also, you know, he's not the authority either. You know, like he may get some things wrong with his notes, you know, that's okay.
Yeah.
Anything else I can help you with? Anything you want to do? Do you want to go over it again? Do you want advice on how to memorize better?
I just want to know, when he sent me the scene, he said, and I don't want to take too much of your time. I just, one more thing. He sent me the scene and he was like, so there's a lot of emotions to unpack. You have to unpack. You have to really use them or something like that. And I was like, but there's emotion there, obviously, but I also feel like she's like high as balls and is kind of relaxed at the same time. But like there's a lot to work with, but I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just kind of confused by what he was saying.
Okay. There's two important things there. I think that was bad advice he said regarding there's a lot of emotions to unpack. Instead, what he should be saying is that you service the scene. Like when you service the scene, the like emotions come out themselves.
Yeah.
You don't have to go into a scene being like, and here I should be sad, and here I should be angry, and but that's not how to act. Like you're servicing the scene, which is I'm trying to be authoritative, and like he keeps fucking, he like you grab my neck.
No.
Oh my, like yes, even it's like, dude, come on, like fuck you, and like that is the unpacking of the emotion there. You know, like but you shouldn't be going into it saying I need to unpack this emotion now. You let the words and let the scene do that for you.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and this is a technical thing, when it comes to being high or drunk, you never need to play that up ever. You actually should play that up.
Okay.
Yeah, because most people when they're high or drunk, they try to, hide the fact that they're high and drunk.
Yeah. They try to seem like I have it together, but
yeah,
I don't look together. Or
right.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So like you don't need to be like, hey man, like I'm high. Like, no. We know that you guys are smoking, but like you're trying to be authoritative. And like don't service the high stuff. Service the script. Service the idea behind each line. Why are you saying this then? Why is he saying that then? Shit, what has he done to like unwind you? This is like there are like a lot of things to like unpack, but it's you servicing the scene that unpacks that.
Yeah.
And
do you ever do any moment befores? Like, do you ever like before action, obviously, you kind of start to get into it, but like, do you ever think of a moment before, like what you're doing before the scene, or like how
yes. So if it's on set, I'll play around. If it's an audition, I'll have my reader and I do some back and forth, which is what I was doing here. I was like, yo, you want some sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then we would, cut and say action right then. But do whatever you want. There's no bad choice you can make, Lucia.
Cool. Okay.
That's the point of a class. Do you want to go through it one more time?
Yeah, let's do it.
The only thing here, and I would just give as a note, is when it's time to be authoritative, just play with like really trying to, snap me out of it. Like, dude, like your focus here, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah,
and
exactly.
Let me unwind you. But you should be trying to you get me unhigh. Like you should try to be getting me, in
like think about what I'm saying.
Right. Exactly. So let's do it without the page. Are the words you flipped over? Like
yeah, they're flipped over.
Okay, great. And you can try to do the words as much as you can, but I would rather prioritize you being more free. Oh yeah, is that cool?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey Lacey Gacy, do you want some weed?
Yeah.
Here, do you want to try blowing some in my mouth? He's good live, by the way. This is like having your own private concert right in your home. This is like the perks of being the radio producer or whatever, the big honcho, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's perks of being a good friend. Did you know that he actually wrote this when he was in treatment because it was about Suzanne who killed herself or died of suicide? Did you know her?
Suzanne, no. No. Should I have known her?
Oh, I heard about Miami.
Yeah, we can move on from that. That was like nothing.
Well, it didn't seem like nothing. You're a promo guy, Tommy. And what the hell? I thought that you were supposed to go down to the station and convince all the guys that you want to play the music that you're literally being played to promote. And that's what you do best.
Good.
What's the line?
What the hell?
What the hell are you doing getting in between Roman Prince and Morris?
You know what's beautiful there? Like you actually nailed all those lines, separately. So that was awesome. Now let's do it all, that line,
Okay.
together.
Yeah.
Suzanne? No, I don't know Suzanne. Sorry. Let me know if she's someone I should know.
Oh, I heard about it in Miami.
Yeah, we can not talk about that if you don't want to.
Well, it didn't seem like nothing. You're a promo guy, Tommy. And what the hell? I thought you were supposed to go down to the station to convince the guys to play the music that you're being paid to promote. I mean, that's what you do best. And what the hell are you doing getting in between Roman Prince and Morris?
You fucking crushed that, by the way. All right, look, that was just once. All right, and look, besides, like, we're still covering your music, right? So we're good. We're good. Just chill, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, we're still covering your guys at the station just fine.
Really? Well, that's not what they tell me. They seem pretty lonely.
What are you talking about? Bruce was just over there today.
No, he wasn't. I'm being serious, Tommy. Your name has been brought up an awful lot, and it's not necessarily a good thing. Things are changing.
I thought you said change was a good thing, Tommy.
Yeah? Well, how are things changing at home with your wife?
Don't do that. You know that when I'm here, I'm with you, right? Right, Lace?
Not what I'm asking. It's just
Nobody knows anyone, Tommy.
nobody knows anyone, Tommy, not that well.
Come on, you really want me moving out here, like in with you? I can do that if you want.
Not what I'm asking. I mean, yeah, you can come over, you can lay in bed and keep each other warm. It's just the world is growing, and at some point, one of us is gonna have to join them.
Maybe. But not tonight, right?
No. Not tonight, we don't.
So how'd you feel about that?
I felt good. I hate that I keep forgetting my lines, but that's
Yes.
okay. I'll work on those. But yeah, that feels better. It feels more like
I agree. A
loose
couple
pieces.
observations, if I may.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like I think you like smoked that. Like, like each individual section, like you did do well, by the way. Okay, so good job. Like that was awesome.
Thank you.
One thing is that, and this is now like this is a like technical thing, you not knowing the lines disallowed for key moments to happen. Because there is a buildup back and forth where she is like almost frustrated with him. But
yeah,
you couldn't hit that because you didn't have the lines ready, which is okay. Okay. But Anthony Hopkins said like the number one thing is to memorize it so well that it's second nature, and now you're just fucking having fun with it. It's like so second nature. Like I don't know what you have memorized, but like I have a bunch of Bible passages from when I was like a Sunday school teacher. But it's like so second nature to me that I can just have fun with it. So here, even, and like I don't want to line read, but I'm just gonna say one thing here. Yeah, see, what are you talking about? Bruce was just over there today. No, he wasn't. I'm really serious, Tommy. Your name's coming up an awful like she's gonna drill him there.
Just drilling him.
Right, because he just lied. You know what? He was over there today. No, he wasn't, dude. Like,
he wasn't.
Right,
Yeah.
like, why are you lying to me? Dude, like, no one's taking you seriously. Wait, I thought you, and also, like, it gives you, like, the freedom to play. Like, when I did, yeah, but I thought you said change was a good thing. Like, I was making fun of you with your, like, so, like, you can give me something back to be like, all right, first of all, never do that again. Secondly, or you can do it back to me. Oh, yeah, well, how are things with your wife? You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you stay there and like you fucking
Mirror them. Yeah,
Right.
a little bit. Yeah.
But that freedom only comes when you have these words, so second nature.
Yeah.
Okay. And then and even then, like I used the word lace. I said you know me lace. So that's even, me trying to get you more intimate and more intimate. And then you're saying it's like, dude, like nobody knows anyone, Tommy. Like, shut up. Stop using like my stuff against me. That's not what I'm asking. Like, you can come here and like even for that line, it's like, I mean, I would think that the note would be, it's like less playful and more like you're like admitting that you're like a culprit in like a shameful thing. Like, that he's cheating on his wife with your body. And you're like allowing that, look, that's not what I'm asking. You can come into my house, lay in my bed. We can keep each other warm, whatever. I'm just saying that, like, the world is moving, dude. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. Like, there are moments that you can explore there once you're more off book. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's true.
That's just a technical thing. We should briefly, do you have another like minute or two left?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't want to take your time because I know.
We should briefly talk about how to memorize, which is a critical thing, by the way, because a lot of people don't know how. I took years to figure out my own way, but you should be able to have scenes memorized in under like 25 minutes. And so there's a way to do it. So what is your process now? And then I'll suggest my process, and then you can use whatever process you want.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I would love to know how you do it as well. But I learned from an acting teacher. She said the same thing about the 25 minutes, but basically what I do is when I get a script, I don't even read it yet. I just go to my part and I just highlight all my scenes, like are all my lines. Yeah. And then I take a ruler and I just draw a line just so I don't know why, but my brain latches onto the information better like that. And then after that, once I'm done highlighting it, I just memorize one page, and then I make sure that I'm completely memorized on that one page, and then I learn the second page, make sure I'm completely memorized, and then I do it all together.
So how do you know when your lines are going to be coming up?
So I basically learn it like a monologue.
Right. But then
I learn each line, wait for the response, or like think about what my next line is. Like, yeah, so I kind of learn it like a monologue.
Okay. The danger with the monologue is that there's no one to work off of in a monologue. But this is a scene in which you have to know your cues to speak.
Yeah.
So may I suggest my method? And like, I'm not saying this is going to work for you, but I would just like to get this off my chest so you have it. And you can.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to grab your phone, grab the voice memo thing.
Okay.
Go to the top of the scene. Look at all the lines that are not yours. Yeah. Do you have the scene up in front of you now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to do the first page here. He's good live. Private concert in your living room. That's the perks of being a top radio program director. Suzanne? No. That was nothing. Okay, come on. It was just once. Besides, we're still covering your guys at the station just fine. What are you talking about? Bruce was just over there today. Okay, so that's the first page.
That's so good. That's so smart.
And I mouthed all my lines. Not you rushing it. I mouthed it like I would be saying it. So I have enough space there, yeah? And then he's good live. Private concert in your living room. That's the perks of being a top radio program director. That's the perks of being a good friend. He wrote this while in treatment. It's about Suzanne's suicide. Wait, did you know her? Suzanne? No. I heard about Miami. That was nothing. Didn't sound like nothing. You see what I'm doing there?
That's so cool.
Okay.
Oh,
because
that's what DiCaprio did in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a slight difference between me and him, but yeah.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like he would record all of his lines, and then the next day when he was on set, he'd have it all memorize because he would record it like that. That's so
Yeah.
smart. Never thought of doing that. Why didn't I think of doing that?
Yeah, so you're just doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and then like I do agree that once you have that your first page done, then you move on to the next page. But now you have your cues, and like even you could do this as you could record the other lines as badly as you want, just in case you have a bad reader. So that's like you're almost like making it harder for yourself so that you know how to work off of a bad reader. You know, sometimes like I'm a bad reader like on purpose so that I have the authority to go and you carry the scene.
Totally.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna do that.
yeah, that's how I memorize, and it's by far the most like efficient way that I found. Like I get most scenes done within 20-25 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
That will work for me because I am audio. I think I'm more audio than I'm visual too, but I think I'd for memorizing lines, I think audio would
Yeah.
help a lot.
I think so too. And like you'll get your cues there, you get to, play around, then you can, re-record it and, do it in like a different voice and just, yeah. But that's like the most efficient way that I found to go memorize. All
That's
righty.
so cool. All right. Thank you so much for taking time to do this. I
Good job
appreciate it.
today.
I was stressing. I was like,
Yeah, good job today. No, you did very good.
thank you. You too.
Yeah. Protect all this, okay? Because everyone here
know.
is not going to make it except you.
You're right. Yeah.
Because they're
Don't even
all
worry about
looking-
anybody else. Just
Right.
do my thing.
They're all looking at each other like thinking they have to be like each other, but that's not the goal. The goal is to
No.
get you on set. The goal is to get you on a billboard. The goal is to get you on set. All those guys will not be on set because they're trying to be like each other in a class, but you are singular and you are hyper focused there.
Yeah.
And bleed into the scene. And if everyone thinks you're weird, great.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
And then when he says, what do you want to bring for props? Here's what I want to bring. Have the fucking
Yes.
authority, okay? Stand tall.
Yeah.
Hey, good
You're
job
right.
today.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Bye,
Thank
Lucia.
you so much.
Say hi to everybody, okay?
I will. My mom says hi, by the way.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.